Single phase fully controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor. Okay, now you can see here, this is the fully controlled converter side. Okay, so you can observe for this bridge circuit, we have 4 switches, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 switches are control switches, nothing but thyristors only. In the case of semi-controlled converter, only top 2 are the thyristors and bottom 2 are the diodes. But here, all the 4 switches are control switches, or all the 4 switches are thyristors. So that is the reason why this converter is known as single phase fully controlled converter. Single phase fully controlled converter, or we can say single phase full converter. Okay, so this is fed by separately excited DC motor. So here it is a separately excited DC motor. In the previous class we have seen semi controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor. In this case, in this topic, we are going through fully controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor. So however, the motor load is the same, but the input converter is different. This is the only change that we have to see in this concept. So coming to the operation, see, already I have told you we have to concentrate on 6 points in each and every topic. Coming to the first point, it is the circuit diagram. You can see it, this is the circuit diagram representation, equivalent circuit diagram representation of single phase full converter or fully controlled converter for separately excited DC motor. And the second point is its construction. Its construction means what are the parameters or what are the elements that the circuit is contained. So here you can see T1, T2, T3 and T4. These 4 are the thyristors or controlled switches will form a bridge circuit here. And similarly, here we have used separately excited DC motor. So this fully controlled converter is fed to the separately excited DC motor. RA is the armature resistance of the motor, LA is the armature inductance of the motor, and this is a motor equivalent circuit diagram representation where EB is the back EMF of the motor. And here the field is excited separately because it is a separately excited DC motor. Okay, it is a separately excited DC motor, so that is the reason why the field is excited separately. With the help of separate circuit configuration, here the circuit will be different, either it may be a DC or uncontrolled rectifier or controlled rectifier, whatever. The field is excited by the separately excited with the help of any other extra circuit diagram. So this field will helps exciting this armature circuit of the motor. So this is comes to its construction side. Now, if we want to operate this converter to run this motor, we need a control parameter, which is nothing but the firing angle, or simply we can say alpha. In the figure B, it is showing the quadrants. In the semi-controlled converter, it is a single quadrant operator. But now the fully controlled converter is 2 quadrant operator. So this converter operates in 2 quadrants. See, in the first quadrant, the voltage is positive as well as the current is positive. So it will operate in first quadrant. This is fourth quadrant. This is fourth quadrant. So the current is positive. Here the current is positive, but the voltage will be negative here. The voltage is negative. Current is positive, but the voltage is negative. See, I have already told you that we have totally 4 quadrants operations. So first quadrant, second quadrant, and 3 and 4. So this is positive here, and this is positive here, and it is negative here, and it is negative here. So in the y-axis, it will be voltage or EMF. In the x-axis, it is current. Okay, so now you can observe here. So in this fourth quadrant, the voltage is negative, current is positive. Okay. Now what will be the power? See here positive and here also positive. So for the first quadrant, the power will be product of voltage and current, which means positive into positive. So it is positive. Power will be positive, which means motoring operation. When the power is positive, then that operation will be motoring operation. Then that power will be motoring operation, or the positive power means motoring operation. But see in the fourth quadrant, current is positive and voltage is negative, which means when we calculate power here, minus into plus, we will get minus. So negative power represents generating action. Remember this, negative power represents generating action. Positive power represents motoring action. Negative power represents generating action or braking action, we can say. Motoring and braking are the two different terms used in the drive's configuration. So braking is nothing but generating. Okay, so negative power represents generating or braking, positive power represents motoring actions. Okay, so the single phase fully controlled converter will perform two quadrant operation, means it will be act as a motor, or it will be act as a generator for the given time. Based upon the firing angle, it will act as motor. For some duration, it will generate energy and feed back to the supply terminals. Okay, so this case is absent in semi-controlled converter. But fully controlled converter have this advantage, that the extra generated energy at the motor side can be transferred from motor to the source. This is the extra added advantage here. Okay, right. So coming to its operation, thyristor T1 and T3 will be in forward bias from 0 to pi, but these two will operate at 180 for 180 degrees. Thyristor, each and every thyristor will operate for 180 degrees. Okay, T1 and T3 both are triggered at an angle of alpha. That alpha is also called as firing angle. See here, you know this alpha is. So we are not going to trigger the thyristor T1 and T3 at 0 degrees. We are triggering with a phase delay alpha, or with the firing angle of alpha. Okay, so from alpha to pi plus alpha, the thyristors T1 and T3 both are in conduction state. Alpha to pi plus alpha, T1 and T3 both are in conduction state. So that means the input supply will be, so this is see the sinusoidal waveform. The sinusoidal waveform is the input supply. So this input supply will be fed to the DC motor, DC separately excited motor. So now the current flow from the input terminals to the motor will be, so this is the phase terminal. So from phase terminal to T1, T1 to RA, RA to LA, LA to the motor, motor to T3 here. So from T3 to neutral. So the current will be in unidirectional current, because these are unidirectional switches. So the current will be always unidirection, which means the current is in positive direction. So this waveform, the current waveform, can be seen here. So this is the current waveform at alpha. This is the point alpha. At this point, the thyristors T1 and T3 are triggered. So the current starts increasing like this. at this point at pi the voltage, this is the output voltage waveform or the voltage across the motor. At this point at pi the voltage starts reversing. See, in the full wave converter we will get this negative peak. We have come across power electronic subject, so you can know you will know that this negative peak how it will happen. So from pi to pi plus alpha, so from pi to, this is the pi plus alpha point, from pi to pi plus alpha we will get this negative peak. So during this negative peak the current starts decreasing. Okay, so the shape will be like this. It is not linear, but it is somewhat sinusoidal shape, but not pure sinusoidal. Here the current is unidirectional current, and which is operating in continuous conduction mode only. See, the current will not comes to zero at any cost. Continuous conduction mode only. When we will get the positive peak output voltage, the current starts increasing like this, and at this point, which means at pi to pi plus alpha, at this point we will get this negative peak. So the current starts falling from its maximum. This will be the current maximum point. From this point to here the current starts decreasing slowly like this. And at this point, which means at pi plus alpha point, these thyristors T1 and T3 will comes to reverse bias, because T1 T3 conducted for 180 degrees. See, alpha to pi plus alpha, it is 180 degrees duration. So each and every thyristor will conduct only for 180 degrees. So T1 and T3, these two thyristors will come to reverse bias at this point. And T2 and T4 both will be triggered here at pi plus alpha. At T2 and T4, these two thyristors, sorry, so T2 and T4 both will be triggered at pi plus alpha. So these two will carry the current. So T2 and T4 will be triggered. At this point, the current direction will be from the neutral point to T2, T2 to IA, so T2 to RA to LA to motor, and motor to T4 to phase terminal. But you can observe the motor direction, the current direction in the motor always in this direction. Always the current direction in the motor will be this direction. Whether the current flows through T1 in the first case or the current flows through T2 in the second case. At this point, the current is unidirection, or the current is in the same direction. So that is the reason why positive, and here you can observe only first quadrant as well as fourth quadrant will appear because of the same current. Madhubabu, please be in mute. Okay, so this is how the motor will operate for the two modes of operation. Two modes of operation means for T1, T3 duration and for T2 and T4 duration. Okay, and so from pi plus alpha to 2 pi, the current starts increasing linearly, sorry, not linearly, almost in the form of sinusoidal shape. And here you will get the positive cycle. And at 2 pi to 2 pi plus alpha, this is 2 pi plus alpha point. At this point, we will get negative output, which is minus the output with the negative sign because of the polarity change. So the current will slowly decrease like this. So this is the motor current, and this is the motor voltage, means motor input voltage and motor input current, or we can say the output current of the converter. This is the output voltage of the converter. And here the converter is a fully controlled converter. See here, the converter is a fully controlled converter. So we can derive the average output equation of this converter. See, this converter output is EA. This EA is feeding the motor. EA and IA, these two parameters are feeding the motor. So the average output EA can be calculated with this equation. So sorry, here it is written as VA, or you can use E or V, any of the term. So VA equal to 1 by pi integral alpha to pi plus alpha. See, in the semi-controlled converter, here we have wrote the limits from alpha to pi only. But here it is alpha to pi plus alpha. This is the only difference. Because here pi to pi plus alpha, we are having a negative peak also. That is the reason why the limit is from alpha to pi plus alpha. In the semi-controlled converter, this negative peak will not appear. This is due to the freewheeling diode. That freewheeling diode shorts the load, which means in this duration we will get a zero output there in semi-controlled converter. But here we will get the negative peak, so the limit will change. So alpha to pi plus alpha, Vm sin omega t, because we are applying a pure sinusoidal input here, so it will be Vm sin omega t. If we simplify this equation or if we integrate this equation, we will get 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. But whereas in the semi-controlled converter, here the average output voltage will be Vm by pi into 1 plus cos alpha there. But here it is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. And you know this equation, this is a KVL equation applied across the motor during this duration. And if we consider this equation under steady state, this LA term, product of LA into dIA by dt, which is the voltage across the inductance, will be 0 under steady state condition. The average voltage across the inductance will be 0 under steady state condition. So from this equation we can write VA will be IARA plus EB only, because this term is 0. Okay. So from this equation we can write EB equal to VA minus this IARA will comes this side. So VA minus IARA. VA minus IARA. So this will be, and EB, we know what is EB. EB is speed into K phi. So N into K phi. So that K phi will brought here. So VA minus IARA by K phi. You know what is VA. You have calculated here what is VA, which means the average value of the converter, the average voltage of the converter. Now substitute this term in the VA place. So 2 Vm by pi cos alpha minus IARA by K phi. But we need to derive the speed torque relation. Here it is speed, but in this product we don't find any torque related term. So I want to replace this IA from this equation. From this equation we can write IA is equal to torque by K phi. Now replace this IA here. You will get the speed torque relationship as N is equal to 2 Vm by pi cos alpha by K phi minus RA into torque by K phi whole square. This relation looks like very similar to the single phase semi-controlled converter, except this term. Here this term will be changed. There it is single phase semi-controlled converter. So here we got Vm by pi into 1 plus cos alpha in that case. But here it is a fully controlled converter. So this term is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. Except this term, these terms and this expression will be same for both the cases. Okay. So this is the speed torque relationship for single phase fully controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor. Here the motor is same. So that is the reason why almost the speed torque characteristic same. Only the difference is the input converter. So the average value of that converter will be changed. You can compare the previous class equation and today's class equation, or semi-controlled converter equation and fully controlled converter equation. You will find only this term. This is the difference term between semi-controlled converter as well as for fully controlled converter. Okay. So when the torque is 0, which means when there is no load, or we can say no load condition or zero load condition. At no load condition, the torque is zero. No load means there is no torque. So if the torque is zero, then this entire term will become zero. So the speed will be n equal to 2Vm by pi cos alpha by k phi, only this term, which means we will get the maximum speed at no load condition or at torque t is equal to 0. So see here, this is the speed torque characteristic. So see, when the torque is 0, means under no load condition, you can see the speed. These are the different speed curves with different alphas. So at any curve you can observe, at no load condition the speed is maximum. Okay, if the load is 0, then the speed is maximum. If you start placing the load by applying, in your machines lab you have applied the load with the help of breaking the weights, breaking drum with the help of weights. So if you start applying the load, you can observe the falling of speed from 1500 rpm to 1400, 1300, like that. You have observed that. The similar way, if you start increasing the weight, which means if you start increasing the torque, the speed will decrease. And this is almost a linear shape. This is because the speed and torque here, the speed and torque are proportional, but with the negative slope. With the negative slope, both are proportional, but with the negative slope. So that is the reason why here it is speed torque curve is linear, but the slope of this linear curve is negative. So it is falling. Okay, and you know that in the speed equation we can regulate the speed with the help of alpha. We can increase the speed and we can decrease the speed with the help of this firing angle. So firing angle is the regulating parameter for us. So with the help of firing angle we can control the speed. See here, at alpha is 0 degrees, you can see the speed which is close to 1900 rpm. If we use alpha as 30 degrees, it is close to 1600 rpm at the no load condition. When the alpha is 90 degrees, it is around 1000 rpm. So if we want to decrease the speed, we can use the regulating parameter alpha. Okay, so with the help of alpha we can regulate the speeds. So for different alphas we will get these curves. Okay, here one more parameter we need to observe, that is the output voltage versus firing angle. I have told you here the fully controlled converter can operate in two quadrants, which means motoring quadrant as well as braking quadrant or generating quadrant. Okay, so when alpha is greater than 90, when alpha is greater than 90, then the average output voltage will become negative. The average output voltage will become negative. When the output voltage is negative, which means it is operating under braking condition or it is operating as a generator. When the average output voltage is negative, it is operating as generator. So that is the reason why here we have shown this fourth quadrant. In this fourth quadrant, the voltage is negative and current is positive only. Okay, so in this fourth quadrant, see here we have already derived the average equation here. Now substitute alpha is 90 here. Substitute alpha is 90. If alpha is 90, cos 90 is 0. So 0 into anything will be 0. So at alpha 90 degrees, this average voltage term becomes 0. This average voltage will become 0. Now you can see here at 90 degrees it is 0. When alpha is 0, substitute alpha is 0, cos 0 will be 1. which is 2 Vm by pi. So at alpha is 0, Va will be, the average voltage will be 2 Vm by pi. Now see here, at alpha 0 degrees, it is 2 Vm by pi. Okay. Now I'm substituting here, the alpha is more than 90. Now substitute alpha value as more than 90. Let me tell you, if alpha is 120 degrees, if alpha is 120, now substitute here alpha value as 120 degrees. Cos 120, what is cos 120? Anyone? Cos 120. Please respond, what is cos 120? Okay.
-1/2.
Yes, yes, yes. So which means we are getting a negative integer coefficient. So it is a minus value here. When the alpha is greater than 90 degrees, then this term will be negative term and this value will be negative value, which means the average value will be negative value. When the voltage, the average output voltage is negative, which means the motor is acting as a generator, which means this, in this area, the motor generates the energy, or it generates the power and feedback to the supply terminal. This is for few a less duration. This stage will depends on alpha angle. So for less duration, this motor will be acting as a generator and it generates the power and feeds the source. Means the power flow will be from motor to the supply terminal. This is how it happens in the braking condition. Okay, so this graph represents the voltage, that voltage versus alpha. When alpha below 90, 0 to 90, it will be in motoring condition. When alpha 90 to 180, it will be in braking or generating condition. Okay, you can relate this example with the locomotive. When the locomotive is climbing a hill, the train is climbing a hill, which means we need to give extra energy. Because of the gravitation, we need to pull the train heavily. So that is the reason why the input of the motor will be increased. When the same train or the same locomotive coming down from the top of the hill, now you can imagine we don't need to give extra torque. In fact, we apply brakes in order to slow down. So which means we are braking the speed. So if we are braking the speed, that means that a motor acts like a generator and it will produce the power and feeds to the source. It will produce a power, a little amount of power, and it will feeds to the source. So this is a braking action or a generating action. I'll explain this braking and generating actions clearly in the unit number 2. Okay, right. So this is single phase fully controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor. So this is the operation and waveforms and speed torque characteristics. Okay, thank you.